Hey guys, welcome into Field Pass Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Christian James, back again with Matt Kubler. Matt, what's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy? We got some big news.
Yes, how about those Birds? They were able to pull it off and land over Maryland, beating the Redskins, I believe, 17-0. I wasn't able
24-0.
24-0, even better. The Bears are looking good to get us that wild card spot. So, and also Chris Long's brother, too, I think it is. He's going to help us get into. So now that we're on to that, Matt, let's talk about some news that we have to offer going into the new year.
All right. So some people may or may not know I'm not only a longtime friend of Christian's mother, I'm also his mentor. And one of the things that we worked on was trying to figure out a pathway for Christian to take his love for sports. He's the Lansdale Catholic, the voice of their sports program. He does the news in the morning. He's the play-by-play guy for the football team, and he's just got this passion for sports. And since I started podcasting, I'm like this. I think this is a perfect opportunity. And last week was our inaugural one, and Christian did a great job. I thought we had a lot of great content, but I think what we needed to do was really figure out what Christian's niche was going to be in the podcasting world. And as a high school student, it's important to figure out where you fit in and where you stand out. So, Christian, we're gonna turn the table here a little bit. I'm gonna interview you. It's kind of like, remember in Step Brothers?
Yes.
When he's pointing his finger out at the guy, and he's like, "How much money do you make before taxes?"
So the tables have turned. All right, yeah. I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So, I know the answers, but nobody else does. What is your vision for Field Pass Sports Podcast?
So what I've learned in this industry is it's all about niches and where you find your niche. And I've realized that, yes, I'm in high school. I'm a part of Lansdale Catholic High School. We're in the PCL. So what I can thrive on doing right now, being in the present, is, do the Catholic League, Philadelphia Catholic League sports, kind of highlight the basketball teams, the Roman teams, the Newman Goretti teams, kind of go on to that, because that's where right now I can kind of grow on, because the rest will come in the future as I grow, as I mature. So I think right now where I am is in high school in the Philadelphia Catholic League, our local Philadelphia League. So that really sounds good. And I think that's where I want to go in the future towards 2019.
Well, I think it's perfect for you. I think it's an area that no one's really spending a lot of time in.
That's
so
true.
Maybe one or two other, like a radio program that may talk about the Catholic League. I mean, the Catholic League is a historic league.
It's big. It's real big. You got Roman Catholic, LaSalle, St. Joe's Prep, a lot of those schools that have been around a while. And also basketball, especially, you have the schools that produce a lot of great players that have moved on to college and are even in the NBA, NFL too. So I think it's a great place to start, if you will.
And you go to a school that's in the Catholic League, so you're bringing a spotlight, a positive light to Lansdale Catholic. You're going to put them out front. As far as I know, there isn't any other high school podcaster focusing on the Catholic League within the Catholic League, and I think it's a great place to be.
I've seen a couple on Twitter. There's a lot that come up on YouTube for play-by-play purposes, but I think, yes, I believe I am the first one to actually do this at the podcast level and to kind of expand on all the PCL teams, which for me is a big honor and is something I'm going to grow on and maybe be remembered as in the future. So that's a really good thing to think about.
Because it's tough sometimes when you're a high school kid. You've been to a couple different schools over the last few years.
Definitely.
You found a home at Lansdale Catholic.
Yes, definitely.
You've been able to take what didn't exist. There was no Lansdale Catholic TV. And you created this LCTV program, and you're the sports director, and it's your baby. You created that, and you're known now as that guy in the school. Yes. And all you're doing is now just evolving it into the next level. I think that's cool.
That's right. So basically, when a bunch of my teachers were, students at LC, they had something called LCTV, but no one paid attention to it. It didn't really expand. So when I transferred into LC January 29th, that's when it kind of kicked off. And that's where I realized, you know what, if I want to grow this industry, if I want to grow myself into this industry, this is where I can start. And this is how, colleges are going to look at, this is how, this is where everything's going to look at. And I went to my activities director. I'm like, look, we need to build on it. We need to build, the popularity of what we do as LC. And I said, we need to start doing play-by-play for, various sports here at LC. And that's why we had an amazing start in football. It was a great start to build on. And then like in everything, you have a base, you look what needs to improve on. And then once you improve on it, you make it greater and greater, and you make it greater for those who follow you, basically. So that's
you're a legacy creator. You're starting a program that someone else is going to go, okay, Christian James was the man when it came to the play-by-play of football and being the sports guy in the morning on the broadcast. And it's now my turn to take the mantle, and he set the bar so high, I got to go and achieve at least equal, if not try to improve upon it. And that's ultimately, you want to create a process, you want to create a system that others can thrive off of. It's not just about you. It's about building something that grows from you.
It's also fun to think about, because wherever, God puts me, wherever I end up in life, I can always look back and I could be like, you know what? I remember the time when the girls softball went to LaSalle University, sitting right in those bleachers, meeting whomever I met at that day, watching the game, the unfortunate loss, starting the football season, just kind of growing on it. It's the memories, and everyone says high school is all about making memories, and it's in a way how you want to make them, how you want to build them. And again, like you and I said, this is a big moment, a big game changer for everything.
And I think, you and I talk a lot about being intentional, about having a plan and controlling the things within your control, and directing your life with your control, not letting someone else control where you're heading. No. And I think this is the perfect way, and especially doing the live broadcasts, like I'm doing with my show. I think for me, it holds me accountable. If there isn't anything in life that you get to do and then edit and then release. Like, life is about the moment. Life is about being in the moment. And I think for you recognize that having that that in the now moment with a player or coach from another team, from Roman Catholic or New Montgomery or whoever, and having them come on and share what's going on with them in the moment when it's happening. That's the special part, because that's the connected part.
I talked with after the football season, I talked with one running back, I believe running back or quarterback. His name is Malik Griffin. And he's from, I forget at the moment. But I talked with him on Instagram, and he would be a fun guy if he does see this, or if it does get out there. He would be a fun guy to interview and talk with live on air, because I did talk to him personally through direct message on Instagram. But man, he was fast. He was a really fun guy to watch. But yes, I am really looking forward, and that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to expand, talk to coaches, talk to athletic directors, get information, talk to players. That's what really interests me in doing this, and that's what I'm excited to do continually. So
I'm excited for you.
Yes,
I think highlighting the efforts of others and spotlighting them and showing how their strength and their determination and their effort can be rewarded by being a guest on the show. I think at first it's going to be you asking people to come on the show, just like I have to do that. And then ultimately people are going to be going, I want my player, Coach so-and-so from Roman Catholic is going to be calling you and saying, hey, I'd love to get Johnny Jones on your show. You had a great game this week. What do you think? Yes. And I think that's going to be something that's going to be cool to watch. I'm obviously going to support you 100%.
I appreciate it.
I just wanted to let everybody know that what your plan was, because I think it's cool.
And it's also cool because you're talking with like high school level players, high school level coaches. But then, you would say to them, hey, I know you're a football player, basketball player, whatever. And I would like to expand on, how the Eagles are doing, and you can get their take on the Eagles basketball, whatever. And that's the best part. You can get the high school level to comment, and you can hear from them on the pro level, which is amazing.
So I think that's really cool. That's awesome, because you're going to be talking about them. You're going to be talking about their team. You're going to be talking about Catholic League, but then you're like, all right, there's stuff going on, right? You're a sports guy. What do you think, asking Johnny Jones, what do you think about the Sixers, the game the other night? And I think that's just cool. It's almost like I mean, you're not old enough yet, but it's like two dudes at a bar. You know, I go to a bar by myself. Some other guy goes to a bar by myself. The game's on. We inevitably will talk about sports.
Yes.
And that's kind of what you're doing at the high school level. You're going to share that same type of environment.
My motto on LCTV, I guess you could call it motto, is that I want to promote a team. I want to promote a player so the students can go to the games, can go watch the games, can go, pay attention to the player. Whether it's stats, whether it's a score, whether it's, wins. Our tennis team that my sister's a part of, they went, I believe, 7-0 undefeated in the PCL this past fall. So I tried my best to promote them, and I wanted people to go out and watch them, and so forth. So that's really the cool thing, and that's why I do else to promote everyone, and that's also why I want to do this too, to promote more schools and more players, throughout the Catholic League, and maybe even public schools too. That would be cool.
And they do have that public Catholic League championship game too, so I'm sure you'll be covering that as well.
That'd be fun. I would love to.
Let's everybody wants, that was fantastic, but listen, we had a big day today with sports.
Wow. Okay, let's just start with the Eagles too, because I know we wanted to harp on that. So we have the Eagles look like it right now. They just clinched a wild card. We hope, or they are. They just made it. So
I'm going to call them. They're in.
Yes, they're in. Okay, great. All right. What are their chances? Well, let's start slow. Let's go slow. Let's start with playoffs. Now do we know who's in who they versed?
They're gonna be playing the Bears.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So play that game out for me. How does that look, Matt?
So,
and then I'll go.
It's basically going to come down to which offense can get the most opportunities, because the Bears defense is ridiculous. The Eagles defense is actually starting to come together. Their defensive front is really playing well in the secondary. I think just by being put in the proper situation and getting the consistency out of the same players coming every week, I think it's going to be something that allows the Eagles defense to at least hang with the Bears. And the Bears offense isn't great. I mean, Trubisky can be beaten. He can make mistakes. He's still young. Foles got injured today. He took a shot to the chest.
Did he come back in? I didn't
No.
See that.
They took him to the locker room. I didn't hear anything about as far as the extent of the injury.
Yeah.
If he's in, I like our chances. If he's not in, I have zero faith, and only because I don't know anything that Nick Sudfeld can do under pressure. I mean, he had a nice touchdown pass today, but that's about it.
You know what? They have a whole – today's Sunday. They'll most likely play Saturday, I want to say, because they play –
And the wild card game is usually Saturday.
Yes. So, you have time to grow Sudfeld throughout the week and give him reps. And I'm sure he's participated in reps.
Because he moved up on number 2 on the depth chart when Wentz went down. So
yes, so he's been given reps. I want to say, and I heard the broadcasters say this, but it looked like when he was down, he was holding his chest.
Yeah.
So they were saying that it was probably carried over from the Devion Clowney hit last Sunday, which was a hard hit. That anything could have happened in that. We hope the best for him and he comes back. But I feel good things about Nate Sudfeld. This could either be good for us or be bad for us, basically. And I actually do feel like it could be a good thing, because I'm all about fresh legs, putting in fresh legs, keeping the line going, what have you. I don't like it, when our best 2 quarterbacks get out of the roster. But it is what it is. It's football, so you can't really do anything about it. But I feel like given the week and with Nate Sudfeld and taking more reps into the game and hearing more about what will happen to Nick Foles, I think we could be on a good track. And like you said, the defense is picking up. The wide receivers are looking better. I really like Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz.
He's the best tight end in the league.
Yes, best tight end in the league. And Dallas Goedert, the rookie that just came in. He had a couple of great catches, great runs. But yeah, that was an unfortunate loss for the Eagles.
I think the Eagles are getting healthy absent Foles and Wentz now, but I think they're getting healthy at the right time. Hicks came back.
Yeah.
What's his face? Sidney Jones came back. The defensive line is healthy. They're able to get the rotation in. Brandon Graham's playing out of his mind. Cox had a couple sacks today. So I think defensively they're okay. And I think offensively the line is starting to figure out what they want to do. And I think Doug's calling a better game plan.
He is.
To be honest, I think he really was doing poorly in the middle part of the season. And I don't think he helped Carson at all. And I think
it was just constantly rushed back.
They never went to the rush. They never ran the ball, and it was constantly Wentz back throw, and I think that when you put a quarterback in a position where he's constantly the only person that's controlling the outcome, injuries are going to happen. Potential bad plays. You got to give the defense something else to look at, and I don't think Doug did a good job of doing that. But now he's calling it great. I love the game plans he's calling right now.
At that point, you just need to be firing on all cylinders, and that's how it works. It can't be one guy. It has to be all the guys joining in. All right, so I know this is a sensitive topic, but I want to touch on did you catch the Giants versus Cowboys game at all?
I caught most of it, and then I had to go train, and then I saw that Cowboys came back on the last second touchdown.
That was a no contest. But that was a really close game, 36-35. And Cole Beasley had a great catch on that last drive. But, the Giants didn't do anything. I don't know.
Let's just be honest.
They didn't. No, that's the truth. But, they kept going on the long throws when they could have just, shoveled it to Barkley and got an easy. I just thought it was a terrible play calling. You guys might agree with me listening to this. But they weren't firing on all cylinders. They were just trying to go for the deep ball. It almost worked. It didn't work. They were going out of bounds. They had 2 timeouts too, which was hard to deal with. But are
you talking about the last drive of the game when they were?
Yes, the last drive.
I didn't see how it ended. I take it they didn't do well play.
No, like we said, Giants are really they have the good players. Barkley wasn't there. Shepard played. Shepard had a lot of great catches. But they have the guys. It's just they're not connecting well. That last drive summed up, I want to say, the whole season for the Giants in a way. Like everything was going for them, and then they crumpled. But I think Barkley is the best guy, and he leads the team.
Oh, he's ridiculous.
No doubt.
He's just a sick talent. He's sick.
Did you see he jumped from the 3? Woo!
I saw a picture. It looked like he was Superman through the air.
Exactly. I love those. Okay. So let's move on to the NLL lacrosse action last night. Now, there were games Friday. Wasn't able to catch those games, but we're all focused on the Philadelphia Wings coming back, and they played in their second game up in Rochester. They were down 5 points before they got their first goal, and I think it was like 6-2 in the half, something like that. And then they started coming back. But the thing is, the chemistry between them, you got to have chemistry. You got to have offense, and you got to have defense. And they weren't, like we said, they were not firing on all cylinders last night. And it's unfortunate because, especially me, I really want a team like that to win just because they're a new team. But again, it's got to be all about chemistry. They won in faceoffs with Trevor Baptiste, which was really good. They had a lot of great shots, but their passing was just not good. I didn't think the shooting went really well, especially the defense. They got to figure out something on defense. But yeah, I just want to see the Wings get a win, and they're at Toronto on the 4th, so this week actually. So let's see if they'll change anything there.
How many games do they play in a season?
I want to say, I'll be wrong on this, but I want to say somewhere upwards of 15, 16, somewhere around there.
So somewhere like a football schedule.
Almost. It is. So
I didn't know if they were like a 40, 50 games into a season or anything like that. But
speaking, they have a lot of time to make up. It's still early in the season. Right. And they were versing a great team in the Rochester Nighthawks who were one game away from, getting into the playoffs or from, making it all the way last season. I only came back into the NLL when they came back to the NLL of the Wings. but yes, so they're going to have to find out what happens there.
What about the Flyers? Did you see that horrible game yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
It was a great game until the last 2 minutes.
Let me tell you, I paid attention to Connor Hart because I think he is such a great story. Coming up from the Phantoms, the last time I heard he was 2-1 in his games. So I don't know, Matt, fill me in on that.
Well, they lost 2-1 last night. Carter Hart played amazing. The 2 goals that they let in weren't his fault. They were just pretty much turnovers and giveaways and horrible defense. And the one that was the game winner was just a beautiful sequence of passes that he had no shot at. And but he's what I'll say is this: I haven't seen, and I like hockey. I haven't been as avid lately in the last few years because of the fact they suck, and I just can't watch crappy goalies.
They're hard to watch.
It's frustrating. And he's a legit goaltender, and he's a prospect that if they can find 1 or 2 more defensemen, because they got Ghost and they got Provorov, who are both very high level players, but then the rest are just kind of like muckers and grinders who really just don't have the talent. They need at least one more good defenseman and one more good defensive forward that can get the pucks out of their own end and forecheck and do all the stuff they need to do. And I think they're going to be fine. But I'm very impressed with Carter Hart. I'm very impressed with the effort they're playing with. The new coach is really he's coaching. And they were talking about in the newspaper the other day how Haxtell wasn't an in-game coach. He didn't say a lot. And this guy just you see him, he's all over the place on the bench. And I like that. I like a guy that's invested in the moment.
That's very avid. And I agree on all 100%. And so how was that his first game, the new head coach?
No, it's his third. He came up when Carter Hart's first game. So
okay, good.
So it's probably his 4th or 5th game. Carter sat out 1 or 2 games.
Yes.
But yeah, so no, I like where they're going. I think they need to bring up some of these young guys that are down in the Phantoms, and I'd rather see a bunch of young hungry kids play than a bunch of guys that are their talents already revealed and they're not going to get any better. I'd rather see the young guys get their time,
especially like veterans like Giroux. They're So
he's playing well this year, but he's one of those guys too. He frustrates the hell out of me because he's got talent. And he's a guy that understands how to play hockey, and then just sometimes he disappears. And you're like, when you're the best player in your team and considered one of the best in the world, you don't get a chance to disappear.
Yes,
you got to stand out.
Now, did you get a chance to check any of the bowl games?
I saw scores. I didn't really watch many of the games. I did see Virginia put a whooping up on who did they play? I just lost it. They won 28-0. Oh, South Carolina.
Yeah.
They beat up on South Carolina. I'm a Florida and a Michigan fan just because I've done work with both of them before. Yeah. Tim Tebow obviously was a Gator. Florida whooped up on Michigan. They put 41-15 or something.
That was a pretty big whooping, actually. It was a fun one to watch too.
I did watch last night's game.
Just pulling it up on my phone here. Yes. So I just want to harp on the Temple Duke game really quick.
Yeah.
Because
it was competitive for the first half.
It was, but this might anger a lot of people here. It's more like Temple tough, Temple stuffed, if you will, coming back. Nice. They had to come back in the second half. I was watching that game. That game was out of control. Temple was up, looking good, and Duke just kind of came and sideswiped them. So
you lose your coach right before a bowl game. I always. I never liked that.
No,
I never liked the fact that a coach takes a job between their last regular season game and a bowl game, and then an assistant coach is left to coach the team. I just think it's disloyal, and I think it does a disservice to the kids.
Having said that, what do you think about players announcing that they won't play a bowl game to go to the NFL draft? How do you feel about that?
That I'm kind of torn on because this is now becoming their livelihood. And you have to think as a businessman once you get to the point where you're going to the league.
Yeah.
And while I do believe that you owe somebody something for the gift you were given of a full ride to play for college football, I also know that if I were a teammate of a guy that was going to the league,
Yeah.
and he made a business decision that he didn't want to put himself in peril, I would respect it.
Mm-hmm. You know, I just think in Florida said it themselves. They didn't get in the Final Four. And it's hard because you have a committee. Obviously, everyone was going to know it was Clemson and Alabama. They just knew it coming into the games. But, you know, in my eyes, I think they should expand it to 8 games. I know it's been a talk. It just kind of expands the time a little more, and it lets, other teams get the opportunity. Like Florida, for example. Florida, they were extremely happy when they found out that they were going into the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, because they were just getting another opportunity to play again. They were getting an opportunity to, play with their guys for the seniors. And, going back to the players, I get it. Look, in the NCAA, the rule is you can't have a job because you have to be focused on playing. So I kind of agree that you're ready to move on to the next level and kind of get paid, start playing. Now, granted, you're not going to get paid much as a rookie because you're on your rookie contract, but starting to grow and the money is going to kind of get bigger as it goes. But I just think a bowl game is any bowl. Now, a lot of people say they have too many bowl games nowadays.
I'm one of them.
But I think a bowl game is a bowl game. It's exciting. A lot of them are in Florida. A lot of them are in Hawaii. You got one in Nassau, Bahamas. So it's kind of a fun experience. And again, like I said, I think I'm with you. I think I'm half and half. I think I kind of get it and I don't get it. But I guess, hey, it's your decision. You make that decision. And I do think it's a valid point, if you don't want to get hurt. Because if you get hurt, it could be, a career-ending injury, or it could be, it kind of you're looked down as in the NFL draft. So just kind of play, your regular season and then continue on and go into the NFL draft. Hopefully healthy, getting some treatment in the offseason, and then getting ready for April. So
yeah, it's a business. There's no doubt about it. It becomes a business once you commit to entering the draft. I think you have to just transition, and there's no smooth way of doing it.
Definitely,
you just got to make that choice.
Mm-hmm. That's right. All righty, Matt. Well, I think that's about wraps it up here. We had some good topics, good conversation. We also had a great announcement to share going forward in 2019, and a great New Year's resolution as everyone puts up. I know I got on my plate. Matt, have anything New Year's resolution wise you want to do in 2019?
Yeah, I used to always put a lot of pressure on myself to set timeline goals. And like, by this date, I want to do this. By this date, I want to do that. And my New Year's resolution is I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to continue to work just as hard at advancing the things I need to advance, but I'm no longer setting timeline goals. I'm a firm believer now that, I am where I am when I'm supposed to be there. And some of that's not in my control. As long as I'm doing the effort part, I'm putting a proper plan in place, and I'm doing the things right, the timeline will be the timeline when it's supposed to happen. So that's my resolution.
I agree. Yes, I agree. Well, it's been a pleasure, Matt. Thank you so much for being on. Once again, guys, this is Field Pass Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Christian James. Once again, Matt Kubler. Have a great one, and we'll see you next time.